Hey, it's Jeff from Gear Report. We're in Gear Report headquarters. We're kicking off something today to see how it works. So this is the first time I've ever run a live stream podcast, and we're going to call this week at Gear Report and see how it works out. Joining me to help kick this off, we've got a couple people and one more that is struggling to get in right now. So let's go around the room real quick. Toby, since you have the camera up, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, this is Toby with Minor Ridge Armory and one of the reviewers for Gear Report. Sometimes, I mean, I throw stuff out there. I don't know if it counts, but me.
Okay, well done. Ghost.
Hey, I'm Trey with Ghost Tactical, and I do mostly firearm reviews, but maybe other firearm-related reviews for Gear Report for, I don't know, year and a half, maybe?
Awesome. And I haven't heard anything from Clover. He's logged in.
I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here. So, I'm Chris with Clover Tac, and I'm blessed to be a part of the Gear Report family here. And when I'm not causing trouble for Jeff and all that good stuff, I do put out a review every now and then. So,
I think every bit of that was true.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeff had a full head of hair before Clover and I joined the crew.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So while we're waiting for people to join, I'll just show you the glorious sunburn from today's sailing activities. So I highly encourage anyone who is feeling a little cooped up, and find someplace where you can get outside and away from people, and the ultimate social distancing. Get out and do something outside. I think it. Well, I said I was going to go out and recharge the batteries, and I forgot that this isn't actually a solar panel. So, we'll see how that goes. So, the format, what I'd like to do here, kind of dragging my feet a little to see if we get any people joining. Let's see. How do I get to? I see comments here.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to vamp and stuff for a few minutes. That way, YouTube is not especially reliable with notifications and things like that. But on a good note, I did get your 30-minute warning. So I at least got the notifications.
And I just got the notification that you're live, like just now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got that as well. So that's good. And I see a few people. I see TJ. TJ, why are you following along in the chat but not here with us?
I think maybe he is practicing the ultimate social distancing.
Yes.
you didn't know that you could get it through the internet and microphones?
I guess I know now. Yeah. Okay, it looks like someone else is down there. I didn't see.
After all these years, you haven't heard that you can catch a virus from a computer? Come on. Where have you been?
Well, I sneezed today and my McAfee started running.
Yeah.
Am I coming in clear?
You are?
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking pretty chill there, actually. So
yeah, I'm having some technical issues today. So let's just
Hey, but you're here regardless, and
I made it. I'm running a little late. I made it.
We've all done the introductions, so you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Pickle. I'm Chris. I'm the camping and backpacking guy for Gear-Report.com.
Awesome. Welcome. So what we are going to do is I'm open to any ideas you guys have, but I was thinking that maybe we could talk about if there's anything that you published recently that you wanted to point out. you think people can find interesting. We can talk about that. We can talk about what stuff you have coming. And if I can get back to it here, we had a couple questions in Facebook that some people asked. I know one of them was around like 12 gauge versus 20 gauge for home defense, which I'm hoping one of you guys is able to speak to that, because I really can't. But we can come back to those later. So
Want to answer that?
no, noodle on that for a bit now, and we'll come
Okay.
back to that later. I think I've stalled about as long as I can here, and we should probably just dive in this morning. So, all right. So, who's got some recent posts that they want to talk about? Something that you published that you thought was neat or surprised you or whatever.
Well, there was the big disagreement post between me and Jeff about the Amok Dermoor hammock.
Yeah, and that is a little different format than we typically post, where one person writes their opinion in a review. So you had me prep for it to be a really contentious disagreement, and it turned out to be a little milder.
Milder. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it. I still currently, as it's sitting in a bin on the wall, want to like it. I don't ever sleep good in it.
Yeah.
It's too hot in the summertime, and I feel like I'm sticking to a rubber mattress. It's too cold in the wintertime. I feel like there's no insulation for me. And at 6.5 pounds, I mean, I've got hammocks that are half that weight for the full setup. I mean, I love the construction. I love the color blue. I've never gotten wet in the rain, and I've been in some pretty good rainstorms in it. Do I want to sit out in it in the woods and drink a cup of coffee or have an adult beverage? You betcha. But, just sleeping in it just really isn't, for me, that great of a experience.
Yeah. Well, and if anyone wants to go read it, you'll see that it's one of my favorites. And I do agree it gets a little stuffy. I think picking an insulated pad to go in that made sense for them in Norway, but not here in the southeast of the U.S. But yeah, that was all right. Let's stop sharing that screen. The one that I have really tried to go out of my way to get out and around in front of people just because it entertains me to see the reactions and the discussion around it is the Rinseworks Aquas 360 Premium Bidet.
Speaking of bidets, I sent you a $10 link to a backpacking bidet, and I'm kind of disappointed, kind of happy, but kind of disappointed it's not showed up on my doorstep yet.
Yeah, well, you have to actually complete the order in order for them to ship it.
I know I do. I thought you were completing the order.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That call. So I'm thinking, what have we reviewed that is maybe a little less interesting? Something neat, though. We're all kind of semi-quarantined. We're on the social distance thing now. So I've got a how to prepare to be quarantined article out there that people might find interesting if you haven't really done much preparation. I never really thought of myself as a hardcore prepper, but thinking through some of the situations you may find yourself in and gear that you may want to order before you actually get locked down. I know a recent one that I'd like to hear just a couple words on, the legendary Glock 44 review that Clover put out a few days ago. It was a week ago, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. Legendary. I got to chuckle at that. It's kind of funny. Thing is, I mean, if you're looking at it from a Glock standpoint, if you're looking at it as somebody that works for the company or knows the history of the company and stuff like that, okay, legendary might sort of kind of apply. But their first foray ever into the rimfire market, okay, I can sort of see it. But as far as what it is, I mean, it's a semi-automatic, mostly polymer 22 pistol. Now, and I wrote that in the article that and invite everybody, of course, to go over there, check that out, read that. But does some of the lip service going around, does that have any effect on the design and the mechanics and how the pistol performs? Oh, absolutely not. But it's gonna curb perception, right? It's gonna create a bias a lot of times going into it. And I'll tell you, me getting hands on it, just with my experience with 22 in general, ammunition, firearms across the board, everything else, from the time it was released, not getting into the hate around the marketing around the release of it, but all the hate into, well, they're blowing up, the slides are cracking, it's jam-o-matic, it won't feed this, it won't do that. And I was really skeptical of a lot of that stuff from day one. And that's one of the reasons I reached out. I was really surprised that, I was given the opportunity to work with Glock, which is awesome. But reached out to them and I said, hey, here's my background. I've worked with youth and in youth shooting sports for, better part of over a decade, tons of experience with 22. I really want to get my hands on one of these and check it out and see for myself. And they did give me that opportunity. And I got to say, there was, it wasn't hiccup free. At this point, it was about 3,000 rounds when I wrote the Gear Review article. Dropped a couple of videos at, I think, 1,000 and 2,500 rounds. And then I've got probably 3,600 through at this point. And I'll tell you, the dirtier it gets and the longer it runs, I think the better it runs. Which is surprising. The first 1,000 rounds or so on that thing, I contributed them to dirt, which was really weird. Either dirt or maybe a combination of dirt and the shape of the projectile, right? And the last phase that I went through, from about 1,500 to 2,500 rounds, I had none of the issues that I had up until that point. None of them, zero. And, some of the ammunition was questionable, had some ammunition problems, of course, and it was obvious by what that ammunition was doing that it was, totally underpressured, underpowered, however you want to word that. And so, I think what's happening is you're getting people that, and if you know ammunition, then you know that 22 ammunition is the most unreliable out there of any of the calibers, for sure. Then add into that the wide variety of ammunition. Then add into that, when you're talking about pressure, which is what is needed to cycle those semi-automatic actions. And then you're talking about temperature, and you're talking about elevation, and you're talking about all kinds of things that can go, lead into what type of pressures or chamber pressures are being created. So, for somebody that's sea level, well, one ammunition may work fine, but it may be right on that ragged edge of being able to cycle that action. And then, you get up into, mountainous terrain, up in a higher elevation or something like that, and that pressure changes just slightly. And there you go. I mean, it may or may not function properly. So overall, it's I've got no problems with it. A solid little pistol. It's taken like I said, it's taken a beating as far as the PR and the publicity and the lip service and everything else. And I think it's, quite frankly, I think it's taken an unfair beating. I happen to like it, but I'm a Glock guy. I mean, I not a Glock fanboy by any means, but I like people complain about the grip angle on Glock and the trigger on Glock and on the sights on a Glock and all this other stuff, and I just find them comfortable. So, for me, it fits into the family real well, so to speak.
Sorry, I keep pushing wrong buttons today.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you removed yourself from the stream or what, but I figured I would add you back in, and if you were doing something you shouldn't, that's going to make for a better video.
No, we're good.
All right.
I just for whatever reason, I'm pushing the wrong buttons today.
Yeah. Okay.
And no, Toby, I wasn't the cause of the 644 drop.
That's not what I heard. I'm getting emails where Selenia went in there and tore stuff up, and so.
So who's got cool stuff coming up in the review queue? What are you working on now that's going to get people excited?
I've got, in the next week or so, I'll be getting a firearm sent from Devil Dog Arms. It's a 3.5-inch 1911 that they're marketing as a concealed carry 1911. So that'll be here next week, and I'll put some rounds through that. And got a bunch of stuff coming in, hopefully relatively soon. I think we all have some stuff coming in from multiple brands to really look at. So I'm excited about some of that stuff.
Nice.
I've got a holster here that came the other day. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with it. Craft holster, CRAFT. They reached out to me. Where they found me, I don't know. I have no clue. It's just one of them things that they hit you up, right? And so I went and checked out their website. They have mostly leather holsters, but also do some Kydex and some other things, and didn't really think a whole lot about it. And they said, hey, can we send you a holster to check out and review? And I'm like, well, I'm always in the market for, a good holster. I mean, can't say no to that. And so anyway, settled on one for my little Beretta 84F, because that's one that I've gotten recently, little 380 Beretta 84F. And it's one that I would probably carry around a little bit if I had a holster. So I thought, well, this is a good opportunity to test out carrying that, little pistol maybe, and see if it's viable for my carry rotation, and also be able to check out a holster at the same time. The thing come in, I mean, it just opening the box and look, they put a handwritten letter in the box for me. I mean, it was pretty neat, the way that I felt I've been treated with the review so far. Looks to be a good holster. I mean, other than opening the box and sliding the pistol in it and fumbling around with it, that's about all I've done so far with it. But what was interesting is apparently it came through DHL. It had DHL whatever sticker on the box that was over another label, and I removed that because I was just curious, and it originally came in from Slovakia. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought, well, we know that there's artisans doing all kinds of cool stuff, all over the world. That where you're at in this world doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. So I'm not saying that that's may or may not weigh into the review and the quality and other things, but it's going to be interesting to see how well the Slovakians make a leather holster, I guess.
Yeah, neat. And it didn't come from China, where you have to worry about getting the kung flu when you open it. So that's good.
Right.
Well, the bubble wrap did, so just don't pop the bubble wrap.
Ooh. Yeah,
No,
that could be bad.
Well, what's interesting, you mentioned the bubble wrap, and that's kind of funny. I'm sitting here looking at the box. This thing was in like a foam bag, and the packing material, I kid you not, is straw. It's straw packing material in there, which is another thing I found interesting. I thought, well, this is kind of
That's
neat.
a little authentic.
And in the U.S., it would be like styrofoam peanuts or something, or bubble wrap,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I open this up, and it's like, you could literally make a scarecrow out of the straw that's in the box. It's strange.
That dude walked out from the barn after making the holster and grabbed some hay out of his hay bale and threw it in there. Said, "Oh, this will
Come
work."
on, man. That's called authenticity.
Right. It's definitely different. It's definitely, and I will say that about stuff that's been sent to me. The experience with just receiving this it's up there. It's one of them that I'll forever tell the story about the Slovakian holster, even if it falls apart.
Right. Well, looking forward to seeing that review. So I'm new to StreamYard, which is how we're streaming this. I can see Gun Loving Grandpa has joined us and been interacting with some people in the chat on YouTube. Looks like a couple other people are watching, and it appears to me that if you don't speak up and let us know you're there, we won't know. So
That's correct.
yeah, say hi and let us know what you'd like to see reviewed. How did that happen? Oh yeah, I need to get someone more competent than me to run this, because who knows what's going to pop up when I'm the one running this screen. But
well,
yeah,
you need the experience first of all, and you can handle it. We've got faith in you.
Wow. Okay, you're making me question your judgment, but we'll
Well,
keep
I'm not saying it's not misplaced. I'm just saying we have faith in you.
Excellent. Good. So I'll tell you something I'm working on is, I've done a lot of Humvee stuff reviews and some gun reviews and things that took a lot of behind the scenes work and a lot of documentation, a lot of video. I've got a whole pile of things sitting around me here that will be reviewed here shortly. And I'm looking to hit this 1 minute review, 60-second review, where the whole video is less than 2 minutes with the intro and outro, and then 1 minute to tell you about the product. So here's one that we'll be talking about soon. This is from SOG, the Survival Hawk, and makes me question their judgment. Anytime someone sends me something cool like this, I'm like, oh, I'm getting arrested with this,
Now, on the opposite end of the axe blade, what is it? Looks forked or something. What's?
Yeah, I think that's a nail puller. It's kind of spiky. You see, it's not very wide.
Right.
But I think that I don't have that packaging in front of me. I'm not supposed to touch my face with this coronavirus stuff, am I? But I believe that's a nail puller, and you can weaponize it, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll get into more detail on this if that's interesting to anyone. That one will go up soon.
I worry about your interrogation, skills when you're actually telling people that you have a nail puller attached to your interrogation weapon. That's supposed to be a secret, so they don't know what's coming. Just saying.
Okay.
Ghost, I'm more worried about the fact that looking at this panel, I'm the one that's physically closest to Jeff.
There's a good chance he won't hit you with
literally right at an hour away from Jeff, and him, that's frightening.
But see, here's the thing: is you don't realize that he may not be at his house. He might be right outside your door.
Yeah.
Oh no, I recognize that backdrop pretty well.
Yeah.
That's called a green screen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
no.
What can make you feel better is, this is kind of designed as a throwing tomahawk. And
if you throw that tomahawk through your screen right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen these guns before. I don't think there's enough there to get this to you. It's just not going to happen.
So is that an Arm & Hammer commercial you're working on?
If you tried, you can put it through that screen.
Yeah, I probably could. Yeah.
So I like the little quick review idea.
Yeah. Good.
I think there is a place for that. Simply because I've been doing some little Gunstreamer videos and capping it, trying to stay under 2 minutes about what you're talking about.
Right.
And they seem to be doing fairly well. We all know how people's attention spans are. And, if they can just jump in and consume something real quick and jump out. The key is, are you going to be able to pack the pertinent information right into that
Right.
2 minutes?
That is the question. And I'm trying to go for things for that format that are pretty simple. These are the Lucky Shot shotgun shell shot glasses. I think I can fit that in a minute reviewing this. The product testing, the field work to validate the shot glass, that may take longer. But I think I can review that in 1 minute. I think something like a headlamp I can review in 1 minute.
Just take a shot with the shot glass and say it works.
So these are going to be marine proof then. You're saying that we're smart enough to handle 2-minute videos. This is exciting.
Well, I mean, you put those words in my mouth, but what? Okay, I won't argue them. Yeah. What else you guys have coming?
I had a belt company actually send me another one of their belts and a competitor's belt, and they wanted me to do a comparison. I've never had that happen. They said, "Hey, we're so positive that ours is better than this other top brand. We would like for you to do a test and comparison of the two." So they sent me both of them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hear that, hammock companies? Start sending me hammocks and the competitors' hammocks.
Yeah. Well, you got to plant the seed with them apparently. So, yeah. Now you got the idea. You can go get them working on that. Toby, what do you have coming?
So if I can ever get some glass to go on top of it, otherwise I'm going to end up having to go with some cheesy glass, if that's a thing. Maybe one of those shot glasses I can throw on top of it. I've got an AR-10 in 308 that I need to put some rounds downrange and run it through some of the paces. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, if I can get all the timing to work out, I'm hoping to be able to get some coyote hunting in with it, some longer distance shooting. Yeah, that glass would work. Actually, that glass would work nicely. Longer distance.
I was going to see how this.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the red would work. That's what I was talking about. The red one would fit perfectly, and I could totally get out to 1,000 yards with that. I have no doubt.
Awesome.
No doubt.
I only worry about having cheese on the glass might hinder your 1,000-yard, accuracy.
It's all in what you fill it with, right? So you when you look through the water droplets, how it distorts, you got to get just the right amount of, rubbing alcohol, and then you can get that 1,000-yard shot. So
I go with Swiss cheese, and then it's just a matter of lining up your apertures.
Oh yeah.
See, right. This guy's got it going on. He's not just your normal leprechaun. He's a smart one.
Right. Well, I heard you say alcohol.
Oh yeah, you caught that. So, but if I can get some glass in the foreseeable future, I've got that on the horizon. We'll see how it pans out.
You ready for some good news?
Wait, hang on.
I like building your dreams up, building your hopes up,
and then crushing them. That's always the best. If you can build them up really good.
That may not
so what he's basically saying is he's got a contact with Night Force. The downside of that is he will not introduce you to him.
Those are both true stories.
Yeah, go figure.
One of my Humvee buddies is a big wig at Night Force, and I have actually not leveraged that relationship for product. I'm kind of reticent to do that. I may do it for Toby, but for now, Crimson Trace has said they will send you. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but you said a list of here are the ones that'll work for this project.
Yeah, I prefer this. If you can't send this instead. So I'm hoping they go with the option number 1 because it meets my criterion better than option number 2. But we'll see.
So the brand manager has approved that, and they just have to figure out which one and when they can get it out.
Good deal.
But they know
So,
it's urgent.
Urgent's a relative term, but so I had hoped to get out to NRAM, take the boss lady out for a week, kind of go out there and get some guest appearances with some guys I know out that direction, and some long range shoots, and get them, touching the rifle and get some guest appearances. But obviously that's not going to work out since NRA kind of chickened out and canceled their show. So.
Right. Yep. Well, but you'll still get some good work done with that here shortly. And
yeah, I actually talked to them today. Yeah, the rifle. Spoke to them on the phone today. It's the company out of Mississippi, Fulton, Mississippi, called DSP Armory. I actually spoke to them on the phone today, one of the two owners of the company, to kind of give them an update of where I'm at and what some of the timelines were, ask when we were going to see them at some of the shows, let them know where that review's going, because that particular rifle is a little pricey. So I wanted to make sure that we're not, that we're managing that relationship as well as we possibly can. I want to set expectations realistically with them. So talk to them today.
Can you talk, Toby, about what that rifle is? Can you divulge that information?
Absolutely. Sure can. Let's see. I can actually go ahead and probably just walk you right on through it. So hang on one second. Let's see. Share screen. Let's go with screen number 2. Share. So
I have to do something, right?
Can you see me?
Yeah, you gotta pop up that. Let them.
There we go. So if you go to DSP Armory, and then the rifle that I have.
You people on all your 500 tabs.
I know, right? Listen, some of us actually have stuff to do, and we're trying to keep track of it, and it's really hard. And yeah. So the rifle that they sent me that they're wanting me to review is the Titan AR-10 platform in 308 Win. So let's see if I can get it to pull up there. So it's as you can see, it's a billet lower 70 75 T6 aluminum with enhanced flared magazine well, hard coated, anodized, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things that interests me the most about it is the fact that there's the Elfman SE trigger at 3.5 pound pull. So what they're gunning for with this thing is it's a little pricey, obviously, but what they're wanting is for you to be able to buy it's got everything you need. In other words, it's got the infinitely adjustable, vertical and horizontal for the stock, get your proper cheek weld set. It's got the correct amount of weight and the flash suppressor on the front to push down and to be able to give you enough weight out front to reduce recoil, the stability of the platform itself, et cetera, and the trigger to where you can just buy this thing, throw some glass on it, and out the gates you're good to go. I used it in the Little Mo review that I did a couple of weeks ago just to see if I could break the Little Mo. That was kind of the goal. I wanted to see if 308 would shatter the glass on it, and it didn't. And I even tossed it on the ground a few times and did some crazy stuff with it. But this one, when I get a hold of it, what I plan to do is, again, I'm going to be throwing it on the ground. I'm going to chunk it in the creek that I've got out back. I'm going to walk on it. I'm going to throw it around, toss it in the air. I'm going to beat the crap out of it. And then I'm going to take it. Obviously, I'm going to do all the ranges, 1, 2, 3, 5,000 yards, etc. I've got a deal worked out with a guy here locally. I'm going to do some coyote hunting with it, try to get some dusk shots and see if I can get something going with that. And again, I've got some friends with some longer ranges that I'm hoping to get on camera, helping me to do some of the review on it. But all in all, I'm kind of excited about it. But I got to get some glass for it first.
Well, and we're going to have that for you shortly. And you've even gotten an offer for help on getting some of that shooting done. So.
Okay.
And the great thing about Gun Loving Grandpa, he lives about half an hour from me. So if he has an opportunity, that means I'll have an opportunity.
Yeah. Listen, hey, I'm game for traveling. If you got somewhere we can put this thing. Now, what I am going to need to do those, and I can throw this up to the room and just get general opinions on this. So, and I'll probably eat the cost of this myself. I'm trying to decide what type of bipod to put on this thing. So obviously I'm going to put a level on the scope, you know, a throw lever, make sure it has a throw lever. I'm going to put a 45 off for close in work and zero it at, you know, 36 yards or something, like I have my AR-15 zeroed. But I'm trying to decide on a bipod. I'm tossing between, what is it, the Magpul and the one with the spikes on it. I think Caleb just did a review on one.
I know that Clover's had a lot of success with Swagger bipods.
That's exactly what I was fixed to say, Toby. Have you ever
Right.
looked at any of the Swagger stuff?
No, I don't think I have.
I could probably hook you up with a Swagger, bro. So if you want to go to Swagger bipods and take a gander at some of their stuff, now it's more, they've got a Steel Banger series, which is more of a bench style bipod.
Mm-hmm.
Their other stuff is going to be, obviously, by the big picture there you see, is more, you know, hunting related. That's their original hunter model. They used to call that the field model, and then they came out with the Steel Banger, and then they've got a Stalker Light, which is a slimmed down version. Like I said, more of a hunting application stuff. But that Steel Banger, I do have one of those. They did send me one of those, and it's pretty doggone nice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the key is obviously I can see the springs there. Does it have 360 rotation on the horizontal and any give? I mean, I can see the give to the left and to the right on the vertical, you know, where you got the springs in there. Does it have any give or any movement on the horizontal, left, right?
That thing will articulate every which way,
Okay.
Not to get on to Eddie Rabbit here, but every which way but loose. Yeah.
Nice.
It's got great articulation, forward, backward, you know, however you need to move. I mean, it's there with the way that, and all of their bipods are that way with the way the spring setups are on them. Now, also, you were talking about spikes. If you pull the little feet off at the bottom, those little rubber caps come off, and there's two spikes. You know, there's a spike underneath it. I don't know if they show a picture of that or not, but they do have that if you pull those little rubber feet off.
Okay. And is this one that's due up for a review, or is this just one you got laying around?
I could probably hook you up with them, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Worst case, I'll put the one I've got in a box and send it to you. But I could probably hook you up with them.
I appreciate the offer.
If you need a bipod for a review, then yeah.
Yeah. No, what is the other
And
one?
Toby, if we need some yardage, I kind of have an uncle with 1,200 acres in Texas.
Oh, wow. And see, there we're heading to Texas. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah, this was the other brand I was talking about potentially, you know, but again, I'd drop coin out of my own pocket if I had to. But
those are cool.
Yeah, and if I did that, it wouldn't be in the review. I mean, I would mention it. It would get an honorable mention. I would use it. But obviously, if I drop my own coin, and particularly with that much coin, you know, obviously I'm not going to be featuring that in the review necessarily. But the Swagger, you know, if that's one that it could benefit them, you know, and I could get them a review, that would then expose the optics, the glass from Crimson Trace, as well as the DSP Armory Titan 10 in four review videos. It would get one for Steel Banger, one for the glass, one for the scope, and one for the red dot, and then one for the DSP 10 itself, the AR-10 itself. So that's actually 4 reviews where it would get featured in. So that could be beneficial for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, it's always good when you can combine things like that. Oh, I love doing work like that.
Yeah.
Because you test a bunch of things at once.
Yeah, and you're capturing a lot of footage, B-roll, A-roll, that kind of thing, and then, you know, it's just a matter of writing the articles and stepping off the different edits. So, yeah, I agree. So there it is. So that's one of the big things I have on the for Gear Report. That's one of the big things I have on the horizon. I'm trying to do some teaching content over on the Mining Ridge Armory side of the house, just for our YouTube channel and our Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Ran into some personal issues here at home, and so I wasn't able to produce as much of that content like I had hoped coming into Christmas last year. But coming into spring, summer this year, I'm hoping to try to get some of that educational stuff out. So
you're welcome to share that. Produce it for Mining Ridge, and if you want to create a page that is like the home for your training content on Gear Report, you're welcome to do that as well. It's up to you.
I appreciate that offer. Definitely. Yeah, because I would never presume to do such a thing. So yeah, I appreciate that offer. Definitely.
And if you're spending money, I've been really happy with the Atlas bipod. You had to spend
Atlas.
some money, but pretty good.
Well, I don't want to, but I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to spend some. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get out. There's the ammo, if nothing else. There's ammo, which I've already bought. I think it was 500 or 1,000 rounds from Angel Fire ammo. I used Top Shot Dustin Illerman's discount code when he was advertising it one time on his Facebook page. So hopefully, he got a little kickback there. But okay, yeah, I'll check out those guys too.
Excuse me. Awesome, but that swagger sounds good. I'm not trying to bump that out of the way, but
look, here's the reality of it. The reality of it is, I need to get one on the rifle to do the review. Will that be the one that lives on it for all of its life and all of eternity? Maybe, maybe not. If it's good enough, then sure. If it's not, then no. I'll upgrade as I get the time or as I get the opportunity. So,
gotcha.
Either way.
Cool. All right. Show you something else. I'm going to do one of those quick videos on. This one may be more than a minute because it's got a whole bunch of neat stuff on it. But it's key port, and it's got keys in here, and then a bunch of tools that fold up, and it's all modular, so you can add and remove the different modules for different things. Pretty neat little system. So I'm gonna have that up pretty soon for review. All right, who else has got something coming? Pickle, are you working on something?
A nap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You have any reviews on the way?
Oh, reviews, like work stuff.
You really were taking a nap, weren't you?
That wasn't far off. Hey, man, this has been a long week with everything going on in the world.
Yeah.
Toby wasn't talking about hammocks, and it put him to sleep, unfortunately.
Let's see. I had
this
a
is
couple things
quality
coming,
TV right here.
Shut it. I had a couple things come in. A few of the vendors that I normally deal with are currently under statewide work bans, so that's kind of complicated that in the hammock industry. Let's see. I had a backpack I took out, and it's really kind of a weird anomaly of a backpack. It's only 44 liters, which for you non-backpacking guys is pretty small for a backpack, but it weighs over 4 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a backpack that small. For comparison's sake, I've got 3 backpacks that are over 50 liters. One's as much as 68 liters in volume, and each one of them weighs about 2.5 pounds. So I took it on a 11-mile overnight loop with about 15 pounds worth of weight in it, and I think it bruised my collarbone and shoulder. So yeah, like right across the shoulder and the collarbone was pretty painful for about 4 or 5 days after. So I need to get it back out and even see if it's worth reviewing. I need to sit down and do kind of a group blitz like Jeff's talking with the 2-minute videos on all my cooking utensils and my pots and stoves and whatnot out in the woods, since I've got, I carry a full entire kitchen in my Nanook 960 rolling case. So
It is an impressive kitchen.
thank you.
All right. Cool. So We've got a few of the Gear Report guys. I know TJ was following along on YouTube there for a while. I don't know if he's still there, but I see Budget has made it in from work. He's well, I probably shouldn't say that, should I? He wasn't able to join us in the broadcast, but I see he's there in the chat. But TJ and AJ and I have all got Streamlight stuff coming in. I already reviewed this little Flipmate light, and it's kind of a newer version of this bigger one, this Stinger Switchblade that I don't think I ever got around to reviewing, because when I was ready to shoot the video on it, I lost it. And I found it. Would you like to guess where a month and a half later I finally located this light?
In the box.
In the box. That is a reasonable but incorrect guess. I was using this up under one of the rear fenders in the Humvee when I was wiring a backup camera, and it was just sitting up there on a little shelf. And apparently, when I got done with the camera, I just left it up there. A month and a half later, probably 1,500 miles of driving later, I'm reaching up there for something, and I run into this light, and I'm like, oh my God. That has been bouncing around up there as we've been driving down the road and through the woods and wherever we were going, and it still works like a champ. It's still awesome, and that's my story of irresponsibility and what happens when you send me stuff to review, because I misplace it and try to leave it along the highway, but this one hung in there.
I normally only do that with the Chinese stuff. I don't have a very I don't have a habit of doing that with the name brand like Streamlight. So shame on you.
Yeah, I earned that too. Yep. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
If you only had a GoPro underneath there also taking footage of the 1,500 miles and that thing holding on, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. I didn't think that far ahead, so, which is kind of how it got there to begin with.
Man, Superman changed back into Clark Kent quickly, didn't he?
Look at that. So, and I just got a note from Pickle. That's weird. Okay, I still see him there, but he's not moving, and he said he crashed again. So I'm going to take him out of the screen here and replace him with Michael. Mikey, you want to say hi?
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Mr. Professional, big fancy microphone there.
Don't let it fool you.
I think he stole that from Rush Limbaugh. I'm not positive, but I think so.
There is a reason why technical difficulties is kind of the inside joke on my show.
At least he didn't steal it from Howard Stern, because I wouldn't touch that thing with anything.
Well, who knows where that one's been?
Right. Okay, Connor Clancy is here, and That Guy's Wife Media. I didn't get a notification for this. Can anyone fill in? What do you need to do in order to be sure you get a notification?
Ask her husband when he's going live with you. That's her notification.
I suppose that could work.
I did. I just told her like literally 2 minutes ago. So if you go to their YouTube channel, there is a down below by the subscribe button, there's a bell. You click that bell, and then you turn on all notifications from that bell, and hope and pray that YouTube sends them out, quite honestly. So
yeah.
I will tell you this: if you don't click over, there's a couple of things that come into play is why YouTube doesn't send out notifications, and or that hinders notifications. And we're getting into nerd chat. Is that okay, Jeff? I don't want to hijack.
Yeah.
But this is important to say, because there was another creator out there that was all of his people in the chat were whining about not getting notifications, and I know one of the reasons that some of them are not getting notifications. First of all, you have better odds of notifications going out if you schedule your live stream at least 30 minutes in advance.
Yep.
That way, YouTube sends the 30-minute warning, and then that even betters the chances that it actually sends the real warning. And then the number two thing that a lot of people out there, reviewers, don't recognize and don't realize, I should say, and I'm guilty of it because I'm subscribed to hundreds of channels at this point, I believe. I mean, it's a lot, right? And I don't watch everybody's stuff. And if you don't watch what you're subscribed to, even if the bell is clicked, then the algorithm takes over and it assigns those notifications and sends those out according to some weird algorithm, obviously that better brains than me have programmed. And it'll go through basically your account and your history. And if you haven't watched a video from that person in, the last 2 or 3 videos or 4 videos or something like that, then it may not send you a notification because it doesn't think you're interested anymore. So you have to turn on the bell. You have to be engaged with that particular channel. And then on top of that, like I said, there's a little bit of work on the creator side. Now, basically. Now, one thing that I push is that, especially this was impromptu, but stuff like budget, Ghost in the regularly scheduled programming that happens, same bat time, same bat channel. As a viewer out there, I highly recommend your phone's got all kinds of wonderful alarms and things on it. Set your own notifications. If you're really interested in catching that stuff and not missing it, don't rely on YouTube.
I have a question real quick. How do you turn on Christian Bale? I'm just wanting to know.
Why do you want to know that, Ghost?
Because he said you got to turn on the. He says you got to turn on the Bale. So I didn't know that Christian Bale or.
I mean, were you the don't ask, don't tell era or what?
I was a Clinton Marine, baby.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
Oh, killing me.
Fun stuff. All right. So what we've been talking about budget is any
Jeff, I wouldn't put that gun in the camera, just letting you know.
Oh, because we're live?
Yeah.
I should put that
YouTube
down.
frowns
and I
upon
did that earlier.
Yeah,
I did that earlier too. Wasn't even thinking about it.
If there's ever anything you want to show like that, set it on a stand or hang it on the wall or something in the background. And
you can show it, you just can't handle it.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Toby's got it down. Show it to us, Toby.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple behind me, but I can't keep my hands.
Now you can take
stuff.
if you want to show the scope, you can take the scope off of it and show the scope. You just can't show the rifle.
Yeah.
Or the stock or the handguard.
Or the stock or the handguard. Yeah, really.
If I can just. Oh, there we go. Just a little bit.
There you go.
There you go.
Just the tip. That's the Lucid Optics, the new M7. And the final review on the Lucid Optics M7. Can I bring it up on the other side? Oh, there we go. Just peeking up there. The final review on that will be up here shortly. I think I'm going to go to the range on Wednesday. We're going to do a Humvee Caravan. One of my friends has got one. And I don't know if we're going to mount machine guns on them or just drive them. We don't really want to terrify people,
They'll think it's martial law.
Yeah, people are getting antsy enough already that I noticed today driving the Humvee, I got some pretty intense looks from some people, more than normal. So
I got intense looks driving my Hummer today. Does that help you at all? I had to say it.
I get intense looks all the time, so this is normal for me. I don't know what y'all are complaining about.
Right. It's the paparazzi that you're referring to there. Yeah. So, any recent reviews that you want to tell us about real quick, budget?
I will have a review for the Lucid HDX coming up real soon. I've been testing that one, and as the weather permits and my time off permits, if they coincide, which almost never happens anymore. It seems like every time there's a day off, the weather's garbage. But I have that coming up. I'll be working on a review shortly about some CBD products. I'll have that coming. I'm in talks with the company right now but that'll be on Gear Report as soon as I get that there and do some evaluation of it. I noticed you had the Newbold targets on the thumbnail. What's up with that?
Yeah, I was hoping Alan would show up to talk about that. I was out at Quarter Horse Arms last night, and he was showing me some brands that he worked out in deals post SHOT Show. One of them is Newbold, and that I don't have that picture in front of me. It's actually on my other computer, but it's a really cool. Everything is molded rubber, so
Yeah.
there's a molded rubber. There are two kind of corner sections where you put two 2x4s in to give you legs, and then so that's on each side, and then there's one that goes across.
So
the
that's
center.
the stand, and then their knockdown targets. Is that what I saw?
Exactly.
Because I have a relationship with Newbold. I have for some time. Hap is a really cool dude. That's the guy that runs it, and I've been using their knockdown targets like that for a year or two, and they just sent me their new dueling tree kit, and that's why I was wondering, because I'm planning to do a review of that and write up a review of it for Gear Report as well.
That sounds awesome. I am.
I love Newbold
fan.
targets, man. They're great.
Good. So as you saw, that kind of teaser picture was in the driveway at Quarter Horse Arms, and it has not been assembled yet. Maybe I can get those from Alan and take them to the range when we go on Wednesday, and we can put some holes in them.
Oh, you'll love them. Those things are just awesome. They they're to steal the phrase from Timex, they take a licking and keep on ticking. They are just great. Shoot them with just about anything. Hollow points put actual holes in them. Flat nose projectiles put actual holes in them, but if they're round nose or pointed nose, just a little tiny pinhole. They are. I love them, as you can tell.
Yeah, happy to hear that. So. All right, and I just noticed we're about out of time for our inaugural 1 hour this week at Gear Report. So thanks everyone for coming. Let's see. Why don't we just do a real quick run around the room? Everyone, say your parting words, and we'll see. And in the comments, people let us know, should we do this again, and or if you have any feedback on the format or anything as well. So why don't we start? Let's start with Toby, and we'll work around from there.
All right. So you just want to say goodbyes and that kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Where can people find you? Give your little plug. Not the full elevator pitch, but
All right, everybody take a breath and sit back. No, I'm kidding. So I've actually kind of unified. I mean, obviously, Mining Ridge Armory has a Facebook page, and it has Instagram and Twitter and a LinkedIn presence and so on and so forth. But I have actually unified everything over. If you just go to miningridgearmory.com, you can see hyperlinks over to everything, including the Gear Report authors page. Some of the things I've been working on here lately, like I said, earlier, and some of the things I'm getting kind of into and passionate about is I've kind of hooked up with a company called Emergence doing situational awareness training. So it's a non-firearms related training, and it's something that I'm trying to get out there to the public and do some pro bono work for local schools, local law enforcement, civic organizations, and that kind of thing. So that's going to be one of my big pushes coming in the next few months, is trying to help, give back to the community a little bit. The situational awareness, and this is for you crayon eaters out there, goes tactical. It's a direct civilian adaptation of the Combat Hunter program developed by the Marines.
Fantastic.
One of the guys who taught it for over 10 years, Yusuf Badu, is doing that, certifying the instructors, and I'm a certified instructor now. So I'm trying to push some of that information out there. Point is, where I'm going with all that is all that's over on miningridgearmory.com, hyperlinks, ways that you can contact me, get the word out. If you know anybody who, churches, civic organizations, schools, law enforcement, whatever that's in the area near me or near enough to where I could drive to a reasonable amount or reasonable distance, I would love to try to get out there and help some people and get that information out there. As always, you can catch me on Gear Report. Yep. You're muted. See lips moving, but no words. So I could dance for you and sing a song while we're
Yeah, I
waiting for Jeff to
appreciate
come
that.
back. There we go.
Yeah. The technology exceeded my competence yet again. I was trying to pass off to Budget.
Well, I'm Mike from Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. You can find my stuff here on YouTube at Budget Guns and Gear Reviews, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at my own website, budgetgunsandgear.com, and also on Gear-Report.com. I write for them as well. I do a live stream every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Matter of fact, I have an episode tonight called The Right of the People, where we use the first to defend the second. We talk about Second Amendment related politics and news and current events and whatnot with a panel of guests and with you people out there in the chat. So come on by and be part of the conversation.
Excellent.
And thanks for having me here tonight, Jeff.
Hey, I'm glad you can make it. I didn't think we were going to get you this evening. So
normally you wouldn't. I'm at work until until 10:30, except for every other Friday. Every other Friday I usually have off, but not today.
All right. Clover.
I want to say, first, thanks for the live stream. I think this is a good idea. I think it's going to work out well. Kind of make people more aware of what's going on over on Gear Report and what's coming up. Maybe get them excited. We're talking about getting people's hopes up, so that's always a good thing. Obviously, you can find me over at Gear Report, and much like Johnny Cash, I've been everywhere. So pretty much any platform, anywhere on the internet, you can find CloverTac there. The easiest way, kind of like Toby was talking about, the hub, so to speak, CloverTac.com. Go there, and you'll find links to your social media platform poison of choice, so to speak. Before I get out of here, I also want to give a plug, because I don't know if Jeff's going to do this or not, to the Gear Report Patreon. So, there's a lot of value in the Gear Report website, a lot of work that goes in all of that. I know, Jeff works his fingers to the bone, and obviously all the hair off his head. And get over there. And if you value, what's going on, maybe, throw a few bucks toward the Gear Report Patreon. Thanks for the invite, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for the plug. I completely forgot to even mention Patreon, so I appreciate that as well. All right, Ghost, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bud. I think this is going to be something I think it's going to be great. I think the people that appreciate and enjoy Gear Report, maybe get a little behind the scenes action of what we're doing and what all the reviewers are doing and what you do, Jeff. But if you want to check me out, I've got, I'm pretty much like at Clover. I'm pretty much everywhere in Budget and everyone else. But easiest way is probably ghosttacticalproductions.com. That'll be the landing page. You can find all of our links of our social media, the podcast. We do the Armed Citizen podcast live every Tuesday at 8 Eastern on the YouTube channel. So if you want to join us for that, we'd love to have you. Other than that, guys, thanks for having me, Jeff. Appreciate all the work you do.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. I think I posted the wrong link here. No, that's it.
They both go to the same position. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're certainly. Oh, I don't even want to say it. I'm going to say it. You're a slut. You and Clover, you're everywhere. You put out for any platform, and that's
I would approve that message. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I resemble that comment. Yes.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Well, thanks for everyone who tuned in and interacted with us live. If you're watching in replay and you're still here, definitely leave a comment so we know you're here. Really appreciate it. We only went a few minutes over, but thanks again for all of our distinguished panelists for being here. And I think that's it for now. I don't know. What do you think? Should we look at doing this? We initially in the team call a week or so ago said, do we want to do it once a month or once a week? Personally, I'm kind of thinking while people have extra free time with all of this coronavirus quarantine going on, maybe we just do it once a week for a while and see how it goes. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think just starting out like this. I mean, there's a lot of legacy content on Gear Report, right? So there's a lot of older stuff we can talk about. Bring it back up, bring it to the forefront. So now once this is over and we kind of get caught up with that, maybe extend it bi-weekly or something like that. But for now, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that feedback. Everyone, thanks again for being here. With that, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. And until next time, we'll see you at the range.